Hello friends, Tanya here, and I am back for day 15 of the Spellbinders 2024 Crafty Advent Calendar. Let's open that door number 15, and what do we have? It looks like it's going to coordinate with the swirly die cut that we had at the beginning. This is another a small embossing folder. This will fit perfectly in your Scout. And I have a piece of ink blended cardstock here. This looks very citrusy. Yep. And I'm going to use a little bit of the Pearl Luster Gilding Polish. Boy, we almost went down another road there. I am just using the applicator to add a light layer of this beautiful gilding polish to that raised edge, and it really makes it shine. Let's move on. I'm going to show you how to make a skin tone with the Distress Oxide inks. And we're also going to use the Bestie Heart in Hand die set. There's a whole series of things in that collection that are really fun to play with, and I haven't played with them yet. I'm using my ink refresher here to add a little extra juice to my tattered rose because there's plenty of ink in this ink pad. It was just getting very dry, and it is that time of year. I may have to do a little more ink refreshing on my ink pads as needed. We're combining the tattered rose and the brushed corduroy to create a skin tone. Now, I was going for something darker than I actually ended up with, and maybe if I used a darker brown, we would get there. But this looks like a good skin tone. I am going to cut that out with this die. There are 3 dies in that stamp set. There's this, there's the open palm version, and there's this one, and then there's a heart. And this hand can hold so many things. I think this is a fantastic stamp set or die set. Next, we have the Bestie Beaded Bracelets, which has lots of components for making beaded bracelets. And we have the Bestie Alphabet Beads. One of these is a die set, and one is a Better Press Better Press plate and die set. We're going to ink these plates up with solid gold Cloud 9 metallic ink. And you can see that I'm just lightly tapping this ink on these plates. It's a foam pad or a squishy pad. You don't want to press too hard or you're going to get all kinds of ink where you don't want it. And that does your full alphabet with repeats of many different letters. That's perfect. Here are all of those different beads that I want to add to the bracelets. I've taken a bunch of different colors of cardstock, and my desk is really full of stuff, and I'm trying not to knock things over as I turn that crank. My little red section where the hearts are being die cut shifted a little bit, and I decided to just keep going because it wasn't worth missing 2 or 3 of those hearts. There are all of those beads die cut, and this is the circular bracelet. I'm going to die cut 2 of those because we're going to put 2 bracelets on our arm here. Now we're going to die cut all of these letters with the coordinating die. I did this also in black, not just in the gold. We are going to use the gold. It was just easier for me to show you the black letters and how easy that lines up, and die cuts all of those at once. Now I chose the letters HBD and number 2 and U, so happy birthday to you. I thought that was a great way to add our sentiment. Then we're going to take a variety of these little beads and add them to the front to the bracelet. This is a butterfly. There is a die that cuts out the same number of butterfly bodies, which I cut out with some matte rose gold metallic paper from the rose gold assortment of treasured cardstock. I love that stuff. If you don't have some, I would keep your eye out for that. It sells out fairly often, but they do a good job of restocking it. And it's a pretty great value. These bracelets are so fun to put together. I was a little bit fearful of how long it was going to take to get all of the pieces cut out, but it actually didn't take that long, and it was really fun to put these together. So I'm going to slide that up our arm, check our placement, Make sure I have enough beads on the bracelet before I adhere it just to the back of the arm slash wrist, hand, however you want to think of that. So I've completed one bracelet, the one with the sentiment, and then I'm going to assemble the second bracelet. Here we go. Our second bracelet doesn't have a message on it, but it sure has lots of different cute charms. Now we'll add this to the arm also. And once I have it placed where I want it, I'm going to add a little glue to the back of the arm right under the bracelet. There's a quick look at the wrist with the bracelets on it. So cute. Next, I'm going to show you how I'm storing those for now. I'm using the craft stacks, and that's really slick. We're also going to use the birthday wreath add-ons. These came out last year, and this is so fun. This is a perfectly sized cupcake to use with this. I have a scrap of watercolor cardstock that I'm ink blending with the tattered rose. And I have some other cardstocks picked out for the other elements of this cupcake. We're going to take some fossilized amber and worn lipstick distress spritz, and we're going to spritz that on our watercolor cardstock here. Now, if I had really had a good plan of how I was going to do this card, I would have done some ink blending and spritzing all at once, but I end up going back and forth and having to do it over and over again. I have some rose gold, brushed rose gold that I'm going to use to cut out the cupcake wrapper, some craft colored cardstock for the actual cake part of the cupcake, and then our ink blended frosting swoop. I'm just quickly assembling this very easy to assemble cupcake. It comes together so quick. The thing that took the longest was, well, first finding a cupcake die that's still current, and then picking the colors and ink blending the top frosting. But again, did not take long at all. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue to the front of the thumb tip and a little of glue to the back of one of the fingers, and then we'll just insert our little die cut cupcake into the hand so it's holding our cupcake. Now you could have this dropping your cupcake down. This hand could be parallel to the floor, it could be angled up, could be angled down, has lots of flexibility. Next, we're going to use my favorite 5x7 matting die, that's from the set B, and die cut some more watercolor cardstock. And then I just grabbed the ink blending brush only for the squeezed lemonade. I did not get my oxide pad out and just used what was on the ink pad. Now here, my fossilized amber distress spritz sprayer got clogged, and I have some extra of the sprayer heads, and so I just swapped that out, and I currently have that nozzle or sprayer in a container of hot water to try to get that unclogged. And I spritzed this background, and now I use that embossing folder to do 3 lines of embossing on this just smaller than 5x7 piece of cardstock. I've added some, I used some flyers again on the back of this piece of watercolor cardstock that has been ink blended and spritzed and embossed. This helps it be much flatter, except for the embossing, and to have a little height on our cardstock or on our card base. That's a 5x7 card base. I've added flyer to the back of this arm or hand and the cupcake also to give it a little extra dimension on our card front. Now this is a really large arm and hand die. If I angle it, I can fit the entire thing on the front of our card front, especially since it's now holding a cupcake. Next, I took the heart from that die set, and I'm cutting out 3 hearts to go on the inside of the card. And once I have them cut out, I'm checking my platform for the sandwich for doing embossing, because I had to use my larger embossing or die cut machine to do the embossing on the panel for the 5x7 card. But this way, since I don't have anything hanging beyond the edges of that embossing folder, I can run it through my Scout. So I've embossed these 3 hearts, and I'll give you a quick look at that. I love that. It's so cute. And then we're going to adhere them to the inside of the card. You know me, I have to decorate the inside of the card also. Just going to center the first heart and then add the other two, one on each side of the heart. Just adding a little glue. I had to refill my little precision tip glue bottle because it was about a third full and it was getting really kind of a pain in the butt to get things out. Next, we're going to use the Bestie Sentiments. That's another of the collection there. And we're going to ink it up with the solid gold. This is one of those wonderful plates that does several sentiments all at once. And there is a coordinating die to die cut them all at once. I've inked up our plate. I have another piece of watercolor cardstock. And now that they are inked, I'm going to die cut them all in one fell swoop. Just going to secure that with a little bit of the Best Ever craft tape. And as you can tell, I have used these pieces so many times. Now we'll just pop out the different sentiments that we're going to use. I chose Be Fearless to go on the inside of this card. And I'm just going to adhere that over the center heart. And then I've added a couple little pieces of watercolor cardstock scrap under the sentiment here, and I'm adhering that to the front of the card. Next, we're going to make sure our sentiment's on there good. And then I pull out the Color Essential Gems in the crystal mix. As you can see, I have my whole stack of Color Essential Gems there because I had to audition a few different colors, and I really thought that the clear gems, the crystal ones, which are really, they're kind of holographic. They have purple, pink, green, blue. They reflect all kinds of different colors, which that really fit well, kind of that disco ball look. I'm adhering just 2 clusters of these rhinestones, and that completes our card. I hope you had fun going along on my crafty journey, which I didn't know where it was going to land. I really enjoyed making this card. If you did enjoy this, leave me a comment. I love to hear what you all have to say. Subscribe if you haven't done that, and make sure you give this video a like. If you're interested in any of the products that I used today, check that description box below. Click on that visual link list, and that'll give you the complete listing. And until next time, here are a couple more videos I thought you might enjoy. Be sure to come back tomorrow for the next video in this series. Bye-bye.